Hey, PS, great. The last digit of your like on this video is someone from the meme background, and the last digit of your subscription to my channel will show your subject from the meme background. So come down right now, subscribe and like. Look at the screen, pay attention to the last digit of your like and your subscription. And write someone from chalk background in the comments. It's simple, if your like is the 8th, and the last digit of the subscription is number 5, then you are a lemon with a cactus. Show your imagination and enjoy your viewing. Hello, dear friends, you're on the Melancholy channel. In this video, you and I will remember the coolest and biggest updates in my opinion. But before the start of the video, I would like to say a huge thank you to these guys here, for what they got into my video. If you want to get into my next video, then you just need to subscribe to my channel, put a like, write a top comment from 3 words or more, watch this issue from beginning to end, well, don't forget to subscribe to the cart. Everything is quite simple, I won't drag out your time by getting into my videos and enjoy your viewing. Well, we'll start with version 10.0, which, in my opinion, is one of the largest and best. A huge number of functions were added, a huge number of things that are really functional, that were really needed and much, much more. Well, let's start in order. The and button was added, that is, to go back. With this button, you could return the items that you had placed earlier, which was extremely convenient. A button that everyone understands so far and is really usable so far. And break button, that is, an indestructible button, that is, thanks to this button, you could easily make an object that will never collapse. And this button really did unbalance things that are still popular. Well, a thing was added that, unfortunately, is not popular now, and in fact a strange update that I did not understand and still do not understand why this thing is needed. This is a captor, that is, a weapon that shoots cups. Just think about what the developer smoked when he created the weapon. That is, in fact, a weapon that shoots his mother with cups. Just what? Well, in general, it's strange, but it was added and it was at the initial stage, yes, quite interesting. A bomb nuclear button was added, or rather not a button, but a bomb nuclear was added. That is, you know, it's an atomic bomb that just blows up the whole brain. So far, this is my favorite bomb, which is in this game and which I use quite often. Monroe bombs, which is not so in demand, but also quite interesting and powerful. More powerful than an atomic bomb that demolishes everything on the map. A revolver has also been added, as you may recall. Yes, a revolver is a cannon that is really interesting, which adds variability. And just think about it, this is only half of the list, that is, in my opinion, this is really one of the biggest updates that have been in the music underground. But if you are an old man and can remember a slightly better update, then write about it in the comments. We will definitely read and make a second issue about such nostalgic things. In general, what else was added, of course, is a rocket launcher, which is still used in buildings in various tanks, and this is a really cool thing. Also, cool things were added from the items, such as a propeller, a ranger, a level, a lever, and so on. I won't even explain about the propeller, it's a really cool thing. Thanks to the propeller, the first planes appeared. Ranger, that is, the level, I don't know how really useful it is, but let it be. Wind, too, let it be, although for airplanes it is often used for weight distribution, so that it flies more evenly. So a useful thing, let it be. Lever, that is, lever, is a cool thing, really used constantly in buildings and still. Really a good thing, which is still in great demand. And of course it's a character editor. Now there are skins. The official ones that you can install as much as you want. You can create new characters just in an infinite number. It seems to me that the developers just had to create new characters at one point in the trash. They think like this, let's add a new character editor, let them create it themselves, and we won't worry. In general, these are the thoughts I had about this when recording this video. In general, a toggle button was also added, that is, a button that is really quite popular, which is in demand and it is really an assistant for all buildings. A really convenient button. Although it is not always used, many rush, but let's say I use it all the time, I like it. In general, the button is cool and cool. The effects were also changed in this update, the buggies were fixed, and just think about it, you can rant even more, disassemble each piece, and in short, this is exactly what we had. Which is pretty cool, really guys, this is just the beginning of our journey. Update 10.0 was really good. What do you think about it? Write in the comments. Well, then, which comes after this update, there were 11 and 12.0, which in my opinion are not very cool updates, they were quite average. And as for me, the biggest update after that was the New Year's and update 13.0. The New Year's was smaller, but also cool, gifts were added, well, let it be, okay. But the update 13.0 was really good. And let's sort it out in order. By the way, I already had a release about this update on the channel at that time, that is, my channel had already caught this update. And think about it, it was 3 months ago. That's 3 months. We have raised as many as 60,000 subscribers. Thanks to everyone who subscribed to my channel. It really turns out to be such a small army. Damn, I'm grateful to everyone for subscribing to my channel, it will only get better from now on. Well, let's move on to the next update, which in my opinion is quite large, and this update is 13.0. Well, let's take it right in order from the important. Interesting cool features have been added. The first is of course the weapon editor. Now players can create their own unique weapons by combining different weapons with others. In general, a really interesting cool thing, you can throw new textures, you can generally create something new, interesting, just unique. Really cool feature. Perhaps that's why, after the release of this update, no new weapons were ever released, although before that, quite often, some kind of pistol was delivered to each of them, some kind of a token, something was definitely thrown on. In general, in this regard, a cool feature. New items have also been added. These are various traps, clothes, a bandana, glasses, in general, a cool thing too. And new weapons, this kind of turret has been added, as you may remember. Token, which is generally, really, the developers were 100% drunk when they created the token. Damn, this is a useless thing, well, what a really absurd thing. It's just absurdly real. In general, it is interesting. Also of interest was added this rotting of wounds. Now every NPC, when he was injured, after a while his hand began to rot, as if gangrene was already there, by God. In general, it is also a really funny feature that has generated an infinite number of myths. The receiver. Of course, the receiver was also added and changed, everything was very cool with the receiver. Also added the ability to change the parameters of the object, that is, edit parameter with an incomprehensible button at the first stage, which no one understood at all what it was doing. But now it's all quite simple. Let's say a weapon, you could just make the weapon more powerful, less powerful in the map itself, that is, you could increase the force of the torque propeller. Then he could even take off to space, I do not know. In general, a cool thing. Good, really good. In this update, it is also possible to swap layers. That is, let's say we have 3 blocks that overlap each other. Well, let's say it will be collagen using this button. Now, with the help of a set rail, it was possible to rearrange them higher and lower in layers. Really good, cool. In general, a kill button was also added, which simply kills our melons without a single contact. Cool. Here was such an update. Unfortunately, there was a reverse side of the coin, that is, the update was not completely positive. Ask me, what am I talking about? You praise and top no and now you say no, cancel. Of course, medicine was removed. In general, that's what everyone was talking about. This is of course a minus, but of course it has now been returned and all the guys have now healed well as before. Everything is cool, everything is good, as after the economy in the 2008, when there was a collapse, and now everything is clear. We have healed as we lived before. Everything is cool. There's something else changed the camera, in general, in small things, but it's also cool, they changed the buggy, they changed some there. In general, we will not dig into this anymore. If you want, then come to my review of my past videos, very old videos that we have been watching for 3 months. Look at the review of this update and just cry, because 3 months have already passed and even the new year has already come. In general, this is last year's update, what a joke with last year's bread. In general, something like that. And of course the biggest update after this update is the update 14.4, which in my opinion was the best in general, which in the history of the chalk playground. This is, of course, the Cosmos, the change of car. How much nicer the game has become for just one update. Of course, the reverse side of the coin is also present, because now this update has generated a huge number of bugs. But this will all change, everything will be cool, because this is a really good update. Talk about her. To talk about it for a long time, I think it's not worth it at all. You can just go, see the review of this update, and there are really a lot of cool interesting things, facts, myths, from links. In general, there is a lot of everything there. Well, this is where my video comes to an end, and if you liked this video, then write about it in the comments. Say I want the third part, or rather the second, and then the third will be just around the corner. In general, write about it and I will definitely make the next issue with such a note of nostalgia. Well, this is where my video comes to an end. Thank you all for watching, good luck to everyone, so far, and I remember my friend, as always, I'll see you one of these days.